Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. It's England against Germany and it's a watch-along. I thought these, I'm not going to lie, I didn't think they were all over because obviously I knew that there was going to be internationals, but this is quite a big international tonight. It's in Munich, it's Germany against England, and that's always a big game anyway, but it has big ramifications because it's actually a competitive game in the Nations League, and obviously England losing to Hungary last Saturday, they now play Germany and Italy over the next couple of games, and I think it's going to be a really big test for England, which I ultimately think they'll fail because they're not good enough under this manager. I think the style of football is abysmal, and I'd be very surprised if we can get a performance. As I see people like Harry Kane and Harry Maguire and John Stones lining up there, I feel sorry for them. I think the standard of football is crap, and I think we'll get exposed tonight. I hope not, but eventually I don't think the FA will ever want to notice this. The FA only sacks people when the results get really bad. But I think the English football fans need to realise that we're going nowhere under Southgate. And people will go, oh, we got to the final of the Euros, we got to the semi-final, we're shit. We should have won. Like, with the players we've got, we should be getting to the final. We've got the best league in the world. We've got some of the best players. And the style of football we play belongs in 2010 in a town called Stoke. It's crap football. And, Jacob, thank you very much for your super chat there. He says, thoughts on Group B now? Well, United States, Iran and Wales. We'll grind our way through that because what we'll do is we'll play defensive football, and then you'll get a moment from a Foden or a Sterling or a Harry Kane that'll get us through. And then eventually we'll play somebody half decent and they'll batter us because Southgate doesn't know how to play football at the highest level. So we've got amazing talent that means that we can grind out results. As simple as that. And he is a boring coach. I like Gareth Southgate. It's nothing personal. It absolutely baffles me how England have a manager that no Premier League club in England would want as a manager. I genuinely think there are a lot of better English managers in the Championship than him. Steve Cooper and Scott Parker are two examples coming up with Bournemouth and Forest this year. They're better coaches. So I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest. But there we go. It's a big game, this, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go to the team news. England against Germany is always a big game. I know it's not the World Cup. We've got that coming up in... I mean, it's funny. We should be playing the World Cup. We should be playing the World Cup this summer, but because of FIFA, we're playing it at Christmas in Qatar. But it's still a big game. And I think it's a big game because it's a dangerous game for England tonight because Germany are not going to take this lightly. The Germans, they don't like the English in relation to rivalry. They will want to win. We knocked them out the Euros last year. They're prepping for the World Cup. They'll want to send a message, and I look at this German team first of all. Let's just go through the German team, and you've got Neuer, Schlotterbeck, Rudiger, and Klostermann as their sort of three at the back. Then you've got Hoffmann and Rahm as their sort of wing backs. Then you've got Kimmich and Gundogan. What a midfield two that is. Then you've got Musiala and Müller behind Havertz, and such is the talent of Germany. They've got people like Goretzka and Gnabry on the bench and Sane on the bench. And they've got some good players, but they play system football, Germany. They play system football. England, Pickford, don't really rate him. Walker, I mean, Walker's fast. I mean, we're basically playing a back five as well, let's be honest. It'll be Walker next to Stones and Maguire. And he'll play Trippier off the right, and I think he'll play Saka as a left wing back. Then he's going to play Rice and Phillips again, two very defensive midfielders, and then we'll try and nick something with Sterling and Kane and Mount. It just doesn't inspire me. But looking at the bench, I sort of look at that bench and I wonder what's gone wrong with England because we've got so many good players. But I mean, I suppose Foden's not fit. Bellingham should be starting for me, and I think what's happened to England for me is that we have got some really good players, but they've almost become swallowed and suffocated by Southgate. It's a 7-2-1, as somebody just said in the chat there. It's a 7-2-1, says Leatherface. And yeah, I think it almost has these players have become suffocated because it doesn't matter whether you've got Neymar in an England shirt or Mbappe or Messi or Ronaldo or whoever top player you want, they will be suffocated under this system. I'm tired of it. I try and keep it on the low down because I don't dislike Southgate, and England don't play long enough and that regularly enough for me to get really frustrated. But I said this in the Euros. I said it in the World Cup. It's just we're not going to win anything because he's crap. He's a crap coach, and people will say, well, he's not crap because he's done what he's done. But my point is, what level of coach do you need to be to not do well with that set of players? It's the most simplistic style of football to play in the world. Defensive, relying on the counter in moments. That the proper coaches get the best out of their players and try and play high line, high possession, high shot football. We ain't going to see that. We're not going to see that. We'll hardly have any shots on goal tonight. And I think man for man, we're good enough to give Germany a game. I think if Spain were coming to Germany or France were coming to Germany, they'd come and give them a game. They wouldn't park the bus. And I think that's what we're going to do. And I sort of agree with Mark Searles, who says England are United in disguise. Southgate is Ollie in disguise. My bold manager says it's normal, Mark. Good coaches get the best out of good players. It's like Trent for Liverpool versus Trent versus England. Well, I think that's a great point as well. Even Mason Mount, Trent Alexander-Arnold, John Stones. These players play for Pep Guardiola, Tuchel and Klopp. And they're different players. Like, if you were judging these players on their performances for England, then you wouldn't think they were very good. Paul Matt says, respect your opinion, but Pickford's been very good lately. I can't stand Pickford, Paul Matt. I can't. That's a lot of people would agree with you there. He finished the season really well for Everton, and he's always been England's number one. But I just don't rate him. There's absolutely never been an occasion where Man City or Liverpool or Chelsea or Manchester United have gone, "Ooh, Jordan Pickford's a good keeper." And that's the thing for me. That is the thing for me. There have been England goalkeepers in the past where the top four clubs have looked at them. No one looks at Pickford because he's basically mid-table. He can pull off the odd worldy save, but I don't rate him as a keeper. I'd put I think Ramsdale's a better goalkeeper than Pickford, and I don't understand why I do understand actually why Southgate doesn't change it, because Southgate's got favourites: Harry Maguire, Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Jordan Pickford, Kyle Walker. Some of those deserve to start every game, but he does. What I'm saying is, when you mention favourites, especially if you're a United fan, people start to think of crap players. Managers have favourites who are good players. I'm sure most managers who manage Mbappe, he's one of their favourites. But the problem with favourites is, if you are a favouritism manager, is that you never look beyond. Why is Jude Bellingham not starting football for England? Why is Tomori not starting football for England? This is my issue with South. There's so many strands to this. I've not just gone, I don't like Southgate, he plays boring football. I'm actually sick to the back teeth of him. I just find him such a hard manager to get excited about. I always get excited about the Euros and the World Cup because that's a historical thing. I love tournament football. International football for me is quite boring, but if it's got an edge to it, like this game, or it's a tournament, you get into that bubble. But God, I'm disappointed by yet another set of talented English players being wasted by a pragmatic manager. Sven-Göran Eriksson was the same. I mean, Sven was a better manager than Southgate, but he still was way too pragmatic. And we've done it again. The FA don't learn from their mistakes. They keep recruiting politicians, and they don't recruit football managers. And again, we've got a really good, talented set of players who could be wasted. Southgate could be in post for over 10 years. That's 7 years too long for me. And every year we keep him is a year wasted. We'll go and win the World Cup now, but no, of course we won't. Of course we won't. And the thing is, we've just kicked off here. The thing is as well is that this England team is not the right team. It's not. Like, I wouldn't play a back five anyway, but Tomori should be starting. He's gone to Italy and he's won Serie A with AC Milan. Bellingham runs the Dortmund midfield. Like, these players are technically gifted players who should be playing for England. Tomori's a modern centre-back. He should be playing at centre-back for England. Bellingham is a modern midfielder that most European top... I mean, riddle me this. If Man City or Liverpool were looking to improve their team, who do you think they'd go for? Tomori or Maguire? They'd go for Tomori because he fits the way they play. Who do you think they'd go for in midfield? Kelvin Phillips or Jude Bellingham? They'd go for bloody Jude Bellingham, wouldn't they? Because he's a better footballer. And it's this sort of thing that bothers me. But hey, up, Germany are in here. Shot 1 in the first minute, straight at Pickford from Havertz. To be honest, it's not Southgate's problem. He tried to win by his way. That's FA problem. Eddie Howe and Wenger available. They recruit Southgate, says Jay. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can blame Southgate, but it's the FA. Mark, could you do a poll for Ollie or Southgate, says Alex. And Southgate is a wet noodle, says David James. A manager with some fire in his belly could take this squad all the way. Well, look, if Southgate can take this team to a Euros final and a World Cup semi-final, imagine what a manager could do. I know Tomori's not fit, but he wouldn't have picked him anyway. He was never going to pick him. And Bellingham's fit. Anyway, Germany just won a corner here. They're all over us at the start. My score prediction tonight. Get your score predictions in. I think we'll get beat by at least 2-0. We're not good enough. We're just not good enough. And Germany will absolutely annihilate us. And they nearly scored then. Rudiger flicked it to the back post and Kyle Walker slipped it out for a corner. England being absolutely dominated in the first 2 minutes already. Germany all over us. Flick to the back post. Kyle Walker does tremendously well to divert that away. Chris says England are going to win 2-0. Golurk says 3-0 to Germany. It's on Channel 4 in the UK. You're right. Somebody just said it there. I couldn't find it earlier. Another corner to Germany here. Southgate equals Ollie. It's uncanny how similar they are. Also, Ollie reached semi and final with United, and look at the mess United is in, says Christopher Boucher. Yes. I always say this, and I said it at the time. When we played Germany last, it was at Wembley, and it was in the knockout, the round before the quarter-final of the Euros. We won 1-0. Germany missed a couple of sitters, and Declan Rice would have been sent off if Kyle Walker wasn't fast. We might have been better off losing that game to Germany because Southgate would have been sacked and we'd have a new manager for the World Cup. It's amazing how you can look back at results and go, would we be in a better position now if we'd lost that game to Germany? Because we didn't win the Euros anyway. It was 2-0 to England in the Euros, sorry. But yeah, I still think that it's an arguable point that we'd have been better off losing to Germany because Southgate would have been sacked. Harry Kane with a long ball. Manuel Neuer, the ultimate sweeper keeper, just nods it to... He's the GOAT of the sweeper keepers, isn't he, Manuel Neuer? He might be getting past it a little bit now, but... yeah. See Pickford there. He's actually done all right there, Pickford. Flicked it into Sterling. Now Mason Mount. Goes into Harry Kane. Into Declan Rice. Bit of possession for England. And a throw-in. I don't know how this Nation Leagues works. I think you play everybody twice, don't you? I know we're playing Hungary next week on Tuesday. I mean, I don't know whether I can be asked to do a watch along for that, but I'll definitely do the Italy game on Saturday night. So yeah, we were lost at the weekend to Hungary 1-0. I didn't have the pleasure of watching that game. England, Germany tonight, which is what we're watching, and on Saturday night we're playing Italy at I presume that's at Wembley, and then we're playing Hungary before the summer break, and then in September we play Italy and Germany. So yeah, good. I mean, one thing I would say is that this is good preparation for the World Cup. Instead of meaningless friendlies, it's not actually a bad idea to be playing competitive games. And I know the Nations League isn't great. Here's Sterling. Oh, he should have shot. I know the Nation League is not great, but at least it's not a friendly. Darren Sherwood says, "Do you reckon 3 straight defeats would get him the sack?" No, I think we could get beat 5-0 here and get beat by Italy, and he still wouldn't get the sack. Gorist says, what's your favourite World Cup? Italia 90 for me. I was watching that Queen's Jubilee concert on Saturday night, and they had Ness and Dormer on. I mean, that just takes me back. Headed away. Mike says, thanks for the suggestion earlier. Checked out your Insta and Speedo pics whilst wife was out. Legs as smooth as an oyster in a jacuzzi, says Mike. Yep, if you want to check out Goldbridge in swimming trunks, at Goldbridge Mark on Instagram is my Instagram feed. Harry Kane with a good shot there. Never going to beat Manuel Neuer, but it was on target. Who would replace Southgate? I can think of loads of people. Basically any English manager in the Premier League or the Championship is better than Southgate. So, but yeah, I mean, look, Eddie Howe probably wouldn't want to take the job at the moment. I think Potter would be perfect. I mean, bloody hell, they've given the job to Allardyce and Roy Hodgson and Southgate. I mean, let's not get picky about who could get the job. I think the worst thing they could do is probably give it to someone like Frank Lampard. Sean Dyche, no, God, no. No. I think it's so important that England actually recruit a manager that has a modern style of football, that wants to play football. I can't believe some of the selections we've had over the last 20 years. And Glenn Hoddle, Bobby Robson, Terry Venables, even Kevin Keegan, they wanted to play football, but Ericsson, Capello, Hodgson, Allardyce, Southgate, they're all so negative. England's pattern of play here is basically go back to Pickford and kick it long. As I said, counter-attack FC. The defensive line that we're playing at the moment is nowhere near high enough. And ref says play on. Spinley doesn't rate Pickford. I think Pickford can be a decent keeper. He just doesn't fill me with any confidence. Calvin Phillips has gone down here. I mean, we don't want to see any injuries, but we have got Bellingham on the bench. Why Bellingham's not playing against Germany, I'll never know. I think he might be coming off here. Calvin Phillips, a collision. I mean, if that's a bad injury, obviously there's been rumours of Calvin Phillips going to Man City, even United have been linked to him. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel. Nice to be doing a watch along, actually. Sort of they're going to be few and far between for the next few months. It's mainly going to be transfer talk, isn't it? But nice to be doing a couple of watch alongs this week. We'll do Italy on Saturday night. We've got the Germany game tonight. Potter would be an inspired choice, which is exactly why the FA won't do it, says Ralph Rangnick. 100%. Thanks for the super chats. You can do that through the $ if you want. Hi, Mark. I've got a dad joke for you. It's the greatest frisbee joke ever created. That's not just a humble brag. I'm just throwing it out there. Love the show. Hashtag save my crispy roll, says Skin7. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Just why Calvin Phillips is recovering from his injury here. Sad confession to make. I had a nightmare last night about Darth Vader. I used to have Darth Vader nightmares when I was a lot younger, which I've got to applaud Disney. That's how sinister and scary his appearance in the last Obi-Wan was. Yeah, he came for me, and there's not a lot I could do. I mean, if Obi-Wan's running away, Goldbridge is definitely legging it. I did say, do you want to share a can of sneak? And he just started waving that pink thing at me, which sounds even more sinister. But I'm talking about his lightsaber, which could be a word for something else, but isn't. I actually am talking about his lightsaber. Southgate is just a man manager keeping morale high and waiting for individual brilliance to sneak in. Also, Portugal won Euros doing the same, says Ravi. Yeah, but we're not going to do the same, mate. We're not. I think Pickford is overrated, says Akshay. I do agree, yeah. Look, it says a lot about the modern footballer that they love managers like Southgate and Ollie who just basically look after them and be nice to them. I think that I'd be very surprised if people like Trent Alexander-Arnold and John Stones and Kyle Walker, unless they treat it as a holiday camp, like surely they realise that Pep and Klopp are just on a completely different level to Southgate and our man managers. We've had 11 minutes here. Germany dictating the play. I'd be stunned if their possession isn't 65% or more by full time. Do you think the Netherlands can win the World Cup with LVG, says Casper? Nah. Now, I'd love to see a competitive World Cup. I really would like it where I think the World Cup's always better than the Euros because you add in the non-European sides. I always want teams like Mexico to do well and, you know, the Colombias and people like that. But it'd be nice to see Brazil and Argentina do well as well. I don't think we've had a non-European World Cup winner since 2002, have we? So 20 years. And it is the World Cup. Do you rate Bastoni, Mark? Says Chris. A lot of people rate Bastoni. And what a lovely finish that was by Thomas Muller. But he's offside. Calvin Phillips is coming off. Can't play on. Jude Bellingham's coming on. So by injury, he gets to come on. I think he should have started the game anyway. Che says, when have England had an elite manager aside Bobby Robson? I thought Terry Venables did a good job. I'd love to have seen Venables managers into 98 because obviously he utilised the home advantage very well. Created a siege mentality. And we played some really good football under Venables as well. I thought Glenn Hoddle was a good coach, but obviously his mouth ran away with him and he had to lose his job. I think that where it went wrong was after Hoddle, really. That's where it just went wrong. So was this a goal for Germany? Oh, they took a quick throw in. Yeah, it's not a goal. It would have been a good goal, but the referee had already sort of blown the whistle to take Calvin Phillips off, so... Yeah, that's not a handball by Declan Rice either. So off comes Calvin Phillips. Hopefully that's not a bad injury, especially if he's looking at a summer transfer. But it's a chance for Jude Bellingham. And I actually think England are a better team now with Bellingham in the team. If Germany win, are we out, says Harry? Well, no, because there's 6 games to play, isn't there? So this is only game week 2. We've got to play Germany home and away, Italy home and away, Hungary home and away. We've only played Hungary so far and lost. Will you be doing a World Cup group prediction, says Lele? Yes, but not in June. Yeah, it can't be offside because it was a throw-in, but it was not a goal because the referee had blown. We would be a better team with Tomori in it. We could push up another 10 yards because Stones will do it. Pep and Klopp are so good. Players have no choice but to do as what the manager wants. Poor managers have to keep players happy to stay in the job, says Ravi. Yeah, and I think that's a prime example, actually, of what Gareth Southgate does. He probably brings all the games. Boggle, Monopoly, the PS5. Use my credit card for Ultimate Team, lads. Just make sure you keep me in a job. Oh, Harry, you've spent $3,000 overnight trying to get Ronaldo gold. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. As long as you're happy and you keep voting, vote Gareth, it's fine. Gareth, I want a drink. You can charge it to my card. Don't worry about it. F1 chats. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing on Sunday, so I don't know. And ooh, crossing to the front post. Pickford gets hold of it. England on the ropes, says Elton. Germany all over us, says PJC. Well, I've got to say, as an Englishman, I didn't come into this game expecting a result. I expected a loss. And I think that, to me, should be the biggest hint to anybody who thinks Southgate's good enough. Why do you think... I'm sure we've got people in the chat who think Southgate's good enough. Why? Why is he good enough? If you can't go to Germany, who are not the best team in the world, and give them a game of football, how is he ever going to be good enough? How are we going to win a World Cup? We haven't got 3 Lions and home advantage. We're going to Qatar. Like, 65% possession for Germany already, says Payab. I predicted that. I don't like to say I told you so, but no. I've got no anticipation. I think the best thing England can get out of this is a draw, unless Bellingham starts to get hold of that midfield, which we are better off with Bellingham in the team now. That might be our best chance, actually. Some good tackles going in, though. Well done, Declan Rice. Good work in back. I believe in love. It's all we got. Why is Trippier playing at left back? Because apparently we haven't got a left back. I mean, name me some left backs that we could have picked. Instead, he puts a right back at left back. I know Chilwell and Shaw are injured, but there's got to be some left backs that are available that could play at left back. Well, we're not playing one thing I would say is we're not playing a back 5. We are playing a back 4. Target's French. Can't play for England. Is Ronaldo allowed in the USA? And if he wants MLS, says Ivor Peterson. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Thanks for the super chat, Nick. He says, how does Pickford start for us? Passion merchant. There are 3 keepers better. Southgate isn't good enough. He has been very lucky with the draws we get, says Nick Warren. Well, is Pickford not just an example of England under Southgate? How is Southgate managing England when there's loads of better English managers? How is Pickford in goal consistently for England when there are 3 better English goalkeepers? You can almost go through the whole team and say that. Why is Bellingham not a regular starter in the midfield when he's probably our best midfielder? There's a few positions in that team that you could say that. Feels like there's less risk taking these days with young players in the England first team. We get fed the whole don't play them too early and ruin them narrative for decades. Perfect for Southgate, says Nick P. Oh, he's a contradiction, mate. Basically, Southgate doesn't like picking people who don't play in the Premier League. That's basically what happens there. I mean, it's a big load of bollocks, isn't it? Jude Bellingham played over 30 games at 16 in centre midfield in the Championship. The most physical, demanding league, arguably in the world, because you have to play 46 games. So, but he now plays for Dortmund in the Champions League, but he's too young to play for England in international football, which is basically domestic football on slow play. I'd love to see Potter. I'd love to see any England manager who can play football. We're so shit to watch. It's like watching England. To be honest, it's like watching England under Bobby Robson. And I loved Bobby Robson, but look, that was the 80s. That's if you'd have said to styles of football in the 80s were not what they are now. There was no pressing, Pep, Klopp style of football. That just wasn't the way it is. We play like Southgate used to play. Very limited. Boring, says James. Yes. We shouldn't play like this. We're not an England. I mean, I've seen England sides that just haven't got many good players. We've got loads of good players. We shouldn't be playing this brand of football. Do a poll, Mark, about what? Give me a poll and we'll do it. Mark, Targay is not French. He's never been French. Stop saying he's French. It does my head in just in case you forgot Targay is not French, says Luke. The fact that you've spent a fiver to be absolutely owned on a live chat is really quite sad. Hi, Mark. How is the summer break treating you? Are you looking forward to next season, says Joseph. I am looking forward to next season, but I think you do need a little bit of a break. And the transfer window is obviously part of the regeneration of a season. Here we go. This should be 1-0. What the hell are England doing? What a lovely finish. Is he offside? No. I don't know what's gone on here. Flick looks confused as well. He looks conflicted. Mark, United news slower than paint dry. And what's happening with news? However, United have been moving for Inter Bastoni in the last hours, according to Demartio, says the real G. Not sure whether that's true. I don't know. I suppose the ball. Yeah, he's off. He's come from an offside position, hasn't he? He's active. Maguire was very lucky there. I mean, Maguire's very lucky. There is a German player who's offside, but he's manhandled Muller to the floor. Harry got spun there, so lucky, says Nick P. Yeah, I just saw it back. He's very lucky. Watch this back. The German player's offside, but Maguire's not even aware of him. He's just literally fouled Kai Havertz, and he would ultimately he's virtually. He wouldn't be the last man because you've got Kieran Trippier there, but Maguire's made a right pig's ear of that. Hi, mate. Have you got a prediction for top four, says Liam Merry. For next season, I've got to wait and see what happens with the transfers, pal. Oh, they're checking it on VAR. Well, Maguire might not be out of the woods yet. He says it was offside. Took him long enough to figure that one out. Sigh of relief for Harry. That's why Maguire can't play a high line, by the way. On the halfway line, with the ball over the top, and a striker trying to spin him, he can only foul him. Because otherwise, if it's a foot race, it's like racing a corpse. Do a poll, says Mr. V. About what? I can't pull a poll out my arse. What poll do you want? Give me some ideas and we'll do a poll. Have you been to Binley Mega Chippy, says Jack. I have been to Binley Mega Chippy, but probably about 12 years ago. Oh, Southgate in or out? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Either or. Southgate in, Southgate out. I'll tell you what we need to do at half time. We need to do a competition poll. Oh yes, 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 yes. The best poll ever since the last one. We're going to do a World Cup poll from quarter final to final. we will pit the 8 favourites for the World Cup against each other, and you will vote who you think will win, and we'll get to the final and see who's going to win. So I need 8 contenders for the World Cup. Now, do we go off FIFA rankings? Oh, England! Chance for Kane on the back pass. Oh, Harry Bain! I missed an open goal. I think it might have been a foul on Neuer, but I got to be finishing that. I can't finish my dinner. Oh, Harry Bain. I cannot finish my dinner here. It's a great opportunity for Harry. It would have been a foul. Harry Maguire again. Oh, fucking Harry Maguire. He's put me off. Oh, I was too busy thinking it's a foul. Oh, I still should have scored. Still 0-0. All right, Mark, says Farms. Grealish didn't have the best of season, but at least he makes things happen for England. Boring Southgate. How do you say those one-liners so fluidly, says Joseph. I don't know what one-liners you're talking about. Oh! Harry Kane! What? It was a good cross, but there's nobody there. There's no fucking there! Hi, Mark. Do a poll on whether Targay is French and Delo is English. Let the fans decide, says Sean Finity. Well, 78% are voting Southgate out at the moment. England are having a bit of possession here, though. Lovely play by Germany. They've just passed it fluidly. This is making me uneasy. Spent the last 2 weeks seeing our players lifting weights in exotic locations. Harry's still crap. It's a worry, says Nick P. But Germany are on the attack. Nice little dink into Pickford's hands. So, FIFA rankings at the moment. Let's have a look who the top 8 clubs would be. We move. I can't wait for this half-time poll now. You're going to decide the World Cup winners. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. She was taking me over. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So, you're not going to believe this. Who would play them? It would be them. Well, they can't be in it, so it's got to be them. England on the attack. Saka. Kane. Shoots. Goes wide from Bellingham. So at half-time, we're going to do World Cup poll from quarterfinals to final. You're going to pick the team that wins the World Cup. People say, oh, they'll be biased towards England. People aren't stupid. There's no English bias because most England fans know we're shit. Denmark are dark horses. They played well last night. I watched the highlights. I thought Austria were fantastic, but Denmark are a very good side. USA, says Kevin. Trippier's very good, says Will. I don't think he's that good. I think he's okay. Wolf, who's in it? So the 8 teams in it. I'm going to have Brazil. I'm going for basically the top 8 teams in the FIFA rankings, but I've had to take Italy out. So the top 9. We've got Brazil, Belgium, Argentina, France, England, Portugal, Spain, and Mexico. Pickford got save of the season, player of the year for Everton, and pulled man of the match performances against United, Leicester and Chelsea. I don't get the hate, says Mohammed. Well, it's not hate, is it, Mohammed? It's not hate. I don't think anybody hates Jordan Pickford or Gareth Southgate or any other player. I don't like that word, hate, because it's almost like if you disagree with something, you're a hater. It's okay to disagree and not like something. It doesn't mean you hate it. I don't like Pickford as England's number 1. He gives me the shakes. He's not a keeper should instill confidence, and I don't have confidence in Pickford. He always looks like he's liable to do something stupid, like reach up for a ball that's going out for a goal kick and drop it down for a winner for the Liverpool. Poll on international golden generation. Teams to underperform. Capello's England, Netherlands, and Belgium recently. Messi's Argentina, Germany since World Cup, says Sam. Argentina are going to be strong favourites this year, says Singh. And Random Saints FC fan, thank you very much for joining the members club. We've got another injury down here. It's not an England player though, so we won't talk about it. World Cup odds at the moment. Do you want to know the World Cup odds at the moment? World Cup betting odds right now is as follows. I'm quite surprised by this. Favourites at the moment are Brazil. Mainly you can get Brazil at about 5-1. 5-1 for Brazil. France are sort of around 5.5-1, 6-1. England are third favourites around. I don't know what that's just stupidity. That's just bloody romance. That is England third favourites to win the World Cup. You're having a bloody laugh. Spain you can get at 8-1. Argentina you can get at 9-1. Germany you can get at 10-1. Portugal you can get at 12-1. Belgium 12-1, Netherlands 14-1, and then Denmark are out at 28-1. So really, the bookies have got Brazil and France as the two favourites. I think the value bet would probably be going for someone like Germany, Argentina, or Spain. But look, Brazil and France are the two favourites. I tell you what, every World Cup I say the same thing. I'd love to see a Mexico or a United States or I like the underdog teams basically. Sterling looks injured now as well. Thing is, if you get injured now, you can have a week extra holiday, can't you? Not saying they're trying to do that, but you know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. Everyone's welcome on That's Football. We've got an amazing poll coming for you, and it's only about 15 minutes away. Half-time poll. Oscar, welcome to the members club. It's going to be a good one, this poll. I'm looking forward to seeing what your reactions are. But make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner on That's Football. We are doing England versus Italy on Saturday night. Looking forward to that as well. We're only 100 subscribers away from 695,000. We're on the road to 700k, by the way. Barella has scored for Italy. It's 1-0. Ivan, thank you very much. It's Barella who scored. You can stand under my umbrella. Ella. Under my umbrella. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're on the road to 700k. What an achievement that would be for this little channel where everybody can tune in and talk about everything they want to talk about. I do enjoy doing That's Football, actually. It's good therapy. So, yes. But England holding on here. Can England win anything with Southgate in charge, says Salah Ahmed? No, I don't believe we can. And surely that's the whole point, is to try and win something. I will be reacting to a lot of transfers over the summer as well. So whether it's Arsenal signings, Spurs signings, Chelsea, Newcastle, even did Real Madrid Tchouaméni today. So there will be a lot of transfer stuff you can get on and get involved in. Can England win anything with Southgate in charge? I'm drawn to that, but to be honest with you, let's go to the poll. I mean, really, we've had nearly 10,000 votes. So we've had I want 10,000 votes, and then I'll close the poll. But at the moment, 23% are Southgate in, and 77% are Southgate out. Keep your votes coming in. You'll be voting on there for our World Cup winner at half-time. Scooby-Doo, the pyjamas are back. Scooby-Doo. It's not a kilt. People think it's a kilt, but there is a I don't want to mess around with that area, but there's definitely a seam that turns them into pyjamas. It's not a kilt. Will you imagine if it was? It's not. Germany, cross comes in, goal kick. Crazy to think that Ten Hag is older than Pep and the difference in quality and success is NPC. Oh, but age is just a number. I can't stand ageism. I don't get it. Why are you a better manager if you're 38 compared to 52? Like, Nagelsmann's How old's Nagelsmann? He's still at school, isn't he? Like, it doesn't mean he's better than Pep because he's a young manager. And it doesn't mean he'll be better than Pep in 20 years because he's a young manager. That's not how it necessarily works. Talent is talent, isn't it? I don't think that Nagelsmann's going to be better than Pep when he's Pep's age just because he's managing now. Mark, how many years do you think it will take for the USA to be considered serious contenders for the World Cup, says Oz. Well, I'll tell you what, Oz, let's just see how these teams do in the World Cup. I'm really hoping that we get some teams in the World Cup that... look, we're going to do every game as a watch-along on the World Cup, so tune in around Christmas time. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of these teams deliver. Terrible ball by Trippier there, and but Stones is there to clear it. Not very well. Don't you just love Kimmich? I'd love him to be United CDM. What a ball that is. Lovely weighted ball. And he heads... Trippier as well. The correlation between Southgate and Ollie is stunning. Both tactically inept. No trophies, lost finals and semi-finals. England need a managerial reset, says Daniel. And also, we've got a chat here from... somebody says, look how important it is to have a ball-playing goalkeeper. England are getting suffocated because they can't beat the press. You need a ball-playing goalkeeper in the modern game. No, I disagree. Is age just a number, Mark, says Tom. I think it is. In some ways. I mean, look, you can't be 55 and play up front for Real Madrid, but I don't think a sweeper keeper would help England in this situation. If you put Manuel Neuer in goal for England now and said swap, look how high the German line is when they're playing against England because they want to push England back. England are playing very, very deep because they're not very good. Lovely play here by Germany. And why didn't Pickford catch it? Oh, there's an offside anyway. Is there an offside? Offside. If you're England manager, would you play Sancho? Says Abby. Well, my England 11 would be, I'd put Ramsdale in goal. I'd play Trent at right back. I'm baffled why we don't play. I think it's a key indicator of Southgate that he prides himself on defensive football over attacking football, because I know Trent has his limitations, but he nearly played in a team that won the quadruple. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the definition of the issue with Southgate, because he'd rather play Kyle Walker or Reece James over Trent Alexander-Arnold because he wants defensive stability over attacking football. It doesn't matter if your fullback's weak defensively if you're playing on the attack. Brazil would pick Trent 100%. So my England team would be nothing like his team. I'd go with Ramsdale in goal, Trent at right back. Left back's difficult because Chilwell's been out most of the season and Luke Shaw's not playing anywhere near, so I don't really mind Chilwell or Shaw, whoever's playing better at the time. My centre backs would probably be Stones and Tomori. I think they'd work really, really well, and we'd be able to push that line up further and play out from the back better. My midfield too would be Bellingham and Rice, but I wouldn't get them to sit. I'd get Rice to sit and Bellingham to be more box to box. My attacking midfielder probably would be Mason Mount. I like him in that position. I think he provides some defensive stability if you need it. But ultimately, I'd have him as my number 10. I'd still put Harry Kane through the front, but I wouldn't want him anywhere near my defence. And then my two wide players, I'd play Saka, and I'd probably go with... I'd try and get the best out of Sancho. I really would. But I probably would say, look, Sterling, it's your shirt to lose. But I'd be trying to get the best out of Sancho. And Foden obviously is an important player that I'd be looking to use as well. So you can't start everybody. But straight away, I've got a different goalkeeper, different fullbacks, different centre back, different midfielder, and a different combination up front. I'm not necessarily alluding to sweeping. I'm alluding to playing out the back to beat the press. You need your goalkeeper to do that to outnumber many Germany's attackers. Yeah. It would be helpful if Pickford just put his foot on the ball and helped us play out of the back. Because to press, somebody's got to go to the keeper, and if you wait for them to come to you and then you find a pass, then Germany are a man down. Do a poll of who would like to see Messi or Ronaldo final, says Jack. I mean, Portugal could always grind their way to a final, couldn't they? I don't think they will, though. So 4 minutes to go to half time, and then we've got our World Cup poll that you'll be voting for. Hope you enjoyed your break, Mark. Keep up the good work. Cheers from Boston, says Oscar. I tell you what, I only went away for 3 days, but it was good. I enjoyed it. We had a pool table, a hot tub, beautiful surroundings in the countryside, and yeah, plenty of space. It was good. Nice food and everything like that. But the funny thing was, on the Saturday afternoon, or the Friday afternoon, I decided to do a video about Southgate. And I recorded it. It took me about 5-10 minutes. And I went to upload it, and the Wi-Fi, they call it Wi-Fi, I call it Pigeon-Fi, was so slow, it took 45 minutes to upload to YouTube a 7-minute clip. So I'd have been stuffed if United had signed De Jong, because me going live would have been impossible. Why is Tomori, Grealish, Foden not starting for England? I don't think Foden's fit. Salah is not on the bench. Grealish, I think, is on the bench, but Tomori's not. So I think he's injured as well, or taking a break. So England will probably win this game 1-0, you know. Get Harry Maguire off the pitch. He's so slow and out of form, says Oliver Green. We are winning the World Cup, Mark, says Kushina. There we go, positivity. I believe Ben White's on the bench. I'm not 100% sure on that. Italy are winning 1-0 against Hungary. Ben White is not on the bench. Maybe he's not part of the squad. Grealish is on the bench. Reece James is on the bench. Cody and Gay, Ward-Prowse, Gallagher, Bellingham's obviously on the pitch now. Bowen, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ramsdale and Abraham. If you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, you must be like, I've just had one of the most amazing seasons with Liverpool, which obviously we fell short on, and now I'm sat on the bench for Southgate. I mean, it must be a difficult head mess, that one. I can't wait for this poll at half-time, by the way. Germany on the attack again, which has pretty much been the story of the half. Defence against attack. Defence against attack. Defence against attack. That's where we're at. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Oh, shot straight at the keeper there from Musiala, is it? Yeah. Straight at the keeper. He's had an 8 minutes on. Where's he got 8 minutes from? Bloody hell, ref. I've never seen 8 minutes in my bloody life. What is he on about? Is he having a laugh? 8 minutes into Saka. Good save by Manuel Neuer. Corner. Here we go. This is Harry's moment. This is his perfect moment. I don't know where he's got 8 minutes from. I know Calvin Phillips got injured, but not for 8 minutes. I've never known 8 minutes get added on. Well, there's me thinking it'll be an earlier finish, quarter to 8 start instead of 8 o'clock. That's gone. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. He's a job's worth. He's a job's worth. Oh, corner. Nothing came of it. Well, don't put the kettle on. It'll be cold. We've got we're looking forward to our World Cup thing at half time. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We're really close now to 695,000 subscribers. We're only 50 away on the road to 700k. Get involved on That's Football. You're all very welcome, of course. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Still got 6 minutes of this half left. Ramsdale should be a starter, says Captain Jack Sparrow. Maximum 5 minutes, says somebody there. I just don't know where he's getting 8 minutes from. That's the sort of thing you get when... Wow, I don't want to say it. Don't want to say it. George says Southgate's a politician. The FA will never get rid of him. Oh, they do. The media love Southgate as well. One of the big reasons Southgate won't get the sack is the media live up his arse as well. I've never known a manager where the media absolutely loves him as well. He must buy them all, you know, every bloody Christmas. If you're a journalist, oh look, there's a van outside. Don't worry, it's my presents from Southgate. Your presents, yeah. Every Christmas he sends a van full. Yeah, he'll have spent thousands, basically. He's got the media in his pocket. I've never known an England manager have the media in their pocket. The media are notoriously in the UK, notoriously thin on England managers. Like they do not give them time. He's the worst manager we've had in England of England, to be fair. I think even Hodgson. No, McLaren was worse. Hodgson was worse. Capello was worse. He's not the worst we've had, but he is dreadful. He is dreadful. I think what Ericsson achieved with that England team is better than what Southgate achieved. I know comparably people would say, well, he didn't take England to a World Cup semi-final or a Euros final, but good shot there from Saka. But he did... The Euros was at home, and the World Cup semi-final was just odd. I don't know how he did that. Safegate is Coldplay, popular but boring, says Manchester. And Southgate and Ollie are so similar, says Tommy Esso. Can I ask why the hate for Southgate, says Lloyd? No, you can't. I'm bored of that sort of comment. Why is it hate to not want a certain manager to be your manager because he's boring? Nice little dink over Maguire there. Havertz. Cross. Pickford gets it. Nicholas says, I've never known a country to moan about the second most successful England manager. But Nicholas, that is a flawed argument, because football's not just about I don't get this. You may as well get knocked out in the quarterfinal than lose in the final. If you don't win, you didn't win. You lost. I don't get that mentality. So, Nicholas, you can take that one and smoke it, because that's a loser's mentality. Oh, I didn't marry the girl of my dreams because she chose somebody else. But I was in the final two. Or I was in the final four. She didn't pick you, mate. She didn't pick you. She didn't. She picked somebody better. Or he did. Whatever. Like, it's second place is the first loser. Oh, I can't believe we sacked Ollie. I can't believe we sacked Ollie. He got us to a final of the Europa League, and he got us to the semi-final of the FA Cup, and we came second in the league. Why is Ollie not in a job anymore? Because he played crap football. And so does Southgate. If he'd won the Euros, very different story. Yes, you played crap football, but you found a way. Look at what Portugal did. But I'm not celebrating a crap style of football because we got to a semi-final and a final. We didn't bloody win it, did we? Italy were way better than us in the Euros final. And Croatia were way better than us in the semi-final of the World Cup. So, and France would have annihilated us in that World Cup final. So, when Germany lose a World Cup final or a semi-final, they don't go, oh, give him a job, give him a new contract. They go, that's disappointing. That's not good enough. And that's the problem with England. We celebrate. We want to do a bus tour for semi-final losses. You know, we want to give a knighthood to somebody who loses a final. It's a weak mentality and it's infiltrated our game for decades. Like, if the Germans lose a World Cup final or they lose a World Cup semi-final, they don't go, oh, well, we got to the Final Four and he wears a lovely waistcoat. They go, get out. We should be winning. That's my problem with Southgate and the FA. Not bothered about getting to the final of a home tournament. The semi-final of a World Cup. Whoop-de-doo. We got battered by Croatia. They were way better than us. And I know it went to extra time or whatever. And maybe I can't even remember actually. But yeah, we lost in extra time, didn't we? We didn't go to penalties. But it was a semi-final. It was a bloody semi-final. Anyway, I want to do my World Cup poll. Come on. We've had 8 minutes. We've played 53 minutes of this half. Mark, if you was the manager of England, who would you be bringing into the World Cup? There are some players who should not be going. No, there are, Steve-O. There are. Basically, I would play a brand of football that was entertaining and energetic, and therefore there'd be certain players that I would be taking. I mean, I'd take Joe Gomez over Connor Cody because he suits the way I want to play football. Like, Connor Cody plays well in a back five. That's why he's in the bloody team, isn't he? Oh, Germany are on the attack. Hold your run, Havertz. He's going to switch it. We've had 8 minutes, ref. Blow. Cross comes in. Don't score now. Good away header by Harry Maguire. That'll be it at half time. Well done, Harry. So we had 15,000 votes. Somebody should screenshot that there. I'll do it. We've had 15,800 votes. 76% say Southgate out. There we go. Let me just stop the clock because it's half time. Crap, England. Embarrassing. But look, onto better things. We're going to do. Come on and do the World Cup poll. Do. We'll make it entertaining. That's what we're going to do. Manchester United have been moving for Bastoni, according to Dimarzio. Dimarzio's not been off the boil for a long time, though, hasn't he? I don't believe Dimarzio. Boop, boop, boop. Right. Let's get it. We're not going to talk about how crap Southgate is because we can do that, and the FA, we can do that in the second half. We are going to do a World Cup poll. You are going to decide tonight who's going to win the World Cup. We have 8 contenders, the top 8 teams ranked in the FIFA rankings who are going to the World Cup. Italy, ciao, bye. You're not in it. Did you finish Stranger Things, says Radical One Punch. I'm not going to talk about it in case people haven't watched it, but I think Stranger Things Season 4 is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't like Season 3, I thought it was a bit shit. But Season 4 is very much well worth it. And I love the Kate Bush song. But But we're not going to go through each group. We may do that in the future. This is a half-time thing where we do it with 8 teams. So we've got the top 8 teams ranked in the world rankings, minus Italy. So Mexico come in. We're going to do against each other. You vote. They go through to the next round. It's as simple as that. So our first quarter-final, and I suspect this will be quite an easy one. Actually, we'll start with a good one. World Cup predictor, we'll call it. And it's Argentina. This would be a big game if it actually happens in the quarterfinals. It's Argentina against England. Get your votes in. Who wins, England or Argentina? We're going to try and predict who's going to win the World Cup, and it'll be very interesting at Christmas to see if you got it right. Obviously, we might get an outsider. Denmark aren't in this. They might do it. The Netherlands might do it. They're not in it. I don't think Germany are in it, actually. But our first poll is England against Argentina. Would you consider Havertz being a class player? I like Havertz, T-Fuzz. I mean, there are things about his game that just hold him back, I think. But he is I do like him as a quality player. John Burton says England are going to win the World Cup. They're not going to win this poll, mate. They're not going to win this poll. They're 69% down to Argentina at the moment. And it's not looking good for England. Argentina are poor at the moment, says Jaws. And we're not going to bring it home, says Asher. Fire says Euro 2016 was a magnificent feat for Portugal. We won a Euros with solely draws until the semi-finals. That's the sort of thing that Southgate needs to harness. Shit, boring football. England bottled it in England, and you think they can win it in a different country. Right, I'm going to close this poll down in 10 seconds. England are going out quicker than I thought. 68% are going for Argentina. 32% are going for England. This is our first quarter-final of our World Cup predictor. Who would win between Argentina and England? I'm going to count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It stays on 68% for Argentina. There's not even a sign of a comeback for England. They're out. Argentina have knocked England out straight away. Can't say I disagree with that. I don't try and influence the vote, but our next one is going to be Belgium against Portugal. Ronaldo against De Bruyne. That's not the poll. It's Portugal against Belgium. Belgium, the perennial overhyped team that never seem to do and get anywhere near winning it. Portugal, who actually get written off but always seem to grind their way to it. Who would you go? Who would win in that game? Belgium or Portugal, in your opinion? History would say Portugal would find a way to do it, but Belgium, the golden generation of Belgium's probably gone now, isn't it? Hazard fell off. Company's retired. Lukaku, not the player he was. De Bruyne, still fantastic, but what have they got beyond that? Are Portugal even a decent team? Are Belgium even a decent team anymore? I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I mean, who Belgium got? Belgium aren't the team they were, though, are they? Belgium knocked them out in the Euros. They did. I think Portugal have got the better players, haven't they? But I don't know. Anyway, Portugal are well out in front here with 72%, and Yuri Tillemans. I think to be fair, I'll give some credit to the chat. When people think of Belgium, they start going, "Oh, they're the dark horses of the tournament," but that was 10 years ago. They're not really the dark horses anymore. They're not. Isn't Martinez their manager as well? Bloody Roberto Martinez. He's another pretender. Oh God. I won an FA Cup with Wigan and got relegated. Oh, Martinez. Yeah, he was a hipster manager that everyone was like, "Oh, he's great." I saw through it. I was like, I don't think he's that great. Right, we're going to close this one down in 10 seconds. Belgium have got 72%. If it stays on that, we'll knock them through. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit down, Courtois. You're out. As voted for by the That's Football public, not me. You'd be very busy, I think, if you want to win the World Cup. But, I mean, yeah, they've got a very good goalkeeper. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't really see... it's an interesting point, actually. You're out. That's the interesting point. You're out. Belgium are out and England are out. Portugal and Argentina are through. And our next quarter final is another good one. Oh, this is a good one. Well, I don't think it is, actually. I think I know which way this will go. Maybe I'm wrong. France against Spain. Get your votes in. That's our next quarter final. And just while we're doing that, I'm just going to read you out the Belgian national side that played at the weekend and lost 4-1 to the Netherlands. Their lineup was as follows: Mingele in goal, Alderweireld, obviously Courtois would be in goal. Alderweireld and Vertonghen are still playing. That's like playing your gran and your grandma. Boyata, I mean, he's been around for years as well. Meunier, he's still there. Witzel's still there. Castagne's all right. Lukaku, De Bruyne, and Eden Hazard still plays for them. Yeah, they're the OAP. They're a saga holiday. They are. Trossard's a good player, but he's on the bench. Batshuayi's still there. Carrasco's still there. Yeah, they're yesterday's news, to be honest. Belgium are yesterday's news. They've not even got a squad like we've got. France are smashing Spain here. I mean, Spain could be a dark horse for this. I can't believe this game's on Channel 4. I don't even know who the presenters are. I've got no idea. Well done to Channel 4 for getting the rights for this game, by the way. But, yeah, I don't know who's presenting. They obviously didn't have a big budget because they've got Michael Owen on. Anything to not be watching ITV3, eh, Michael? God, you wouldn't want to be watching that. You wouldn't want to be watching your daughter go on Love Island, would you? I mean, to be honest, it would be a bit creepy if you did want to watch it. But then watching other guys cracking on, you know, I didn't say cracking one out. I meant cracking on. Are you excited for Love Island? Says Sam. No. And right, we'll close the poll. France have won. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Annihilation, really, for them. Gracias, por favor. You're out. France were terrible in the Euros and still haven't recovered, says Danny. They've just got so many good players, France, haven't they? I think that's why people go for them. But yeah, they do also have that ability to be brilliant and then not be brilliant. Right, our final quarter-final is going to be this. I don't see this one really causing people any issues. It's going to be Brazil against Germany. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Brazil, Germany, quarterfinal, the final quarterfinal. Who would you go with to win that game? Brazil against Germany. What's your prediction for England's World Cup group? I would say England, Wales, USA and Iran, says Reece Powell. I think England will find a way through that, to be honest. Yeah, I do. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all very welcome on That's Football. Everybody's welcome on this channel, of course. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're on the road to 700,000. We're only 20 away from 695,000. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Free to do it. Get involved with the channel. Everyone's welcome. We're going to be reacting to a lot of transfers through the summer. And also, we've got another watch-along on for you on Saturday night, which is England against Italy at, I believe, at Wembley. So we'll see. Brazil are comfortably winning this one at the moment. 70% of the vote are going with Brazil. I don't, you know what? Probably would have voted Brazil, but I think Germany will give them a game. I don't think Brazil are Ronaldo, Rivaldo and Ronaldinho Brazil. I think Brazil are Neymar and Jesus and Vinicius Jr. I don't think that they're unbeatable in any sense of the word. I think you might be surprised. I think Germany, this is always the thing that we never see. When South American clubs play the European clubs, sometimes we overrate the South American clubs. 20 years since a South American club won the World Cup. I'm not convinced that Brazil are going to be that much better than Germany, to be honest with you. But you are, and I'm going to count it down from 10%, from 10. If it stays at 69%, then we'll move on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out. You're out, Germany. Brazil have knocked you out. You are gone. So, our 4 semi-finalists are Brazil, France, Belgium and Argentina. We're doing a World Cup poll from quarter-final to final to predict who's going to win the World Cup. And we'll write this down and we'll revisit it in the final. Right. Okay, so our first semi-final is going to be Argentina versus Portugal. And they do have links. I don't know what those links are. Travel, language, Argentina and Portugal are close, and Spain and Brazil are close. I think that's right. Right, let's go. Portugal against Argentina in this semi-final. Who would win to take their place in the final? Messi and Ronaldo. Yes, yes. It's a different angle to it. Sorry, it's Portugal and Brazil who have the connections, and it's Spain and Argentina. It's the other way around. I'm not Portuguese, I'm not Spanish, I'm not Argentinian, I'm not Brazilian. But yes, Spain and Argentina have the connections, and Brazil and Portugal. This is a close poll here. This is a great poll. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We've had 5,000 votes and it's 50-50. These are the polls we live for. These are the ones we love. Argentina have taken a lead. They've gone to 51% against Portugal. Get your votes in. Who would win between Argentina and Portugal to take their place in the final? It was 50-50. It's now gone to Argentina. Croatia, no. Better than half those teams. Says Karen took the kids. Are Croatia not a team that's sort of had their best days now, though? A lot of their team are... let's have a look at the Croatian national football team. They got... Wow, what are you on about, Croatia? They got beat by Austria. They got beat by Austria the other day. 3-0 at home. So I don't think that they are a team that are going to do it. To be honest. England players are coming out for the second half here. It's back to 50-50. Oh, what a poll we've got going on here. It's Argentina against Portugal in this World Cup semi-final predictor. We'll keep it going whilst the game kicks off here because it's probably more entertaining. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. You're very welcome to That's Football. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 700k. Still at 50-50 here. People are saying realistically it's Argentina. I think, again, are you not overhyping the fact that it's a South American team? What happens when they come up against the European team? Argentina have got some very good players, but so have Portugal. João Felix, Ronaldo. There are others. Ruben Diaz, Cancelo, Bernardo Silva. Come on, I'm just waiting for the second half to kick off here and then I can do it. Right, timer is on the screen. This is locked at 50-50. Sometimes I wish I could go into the back system and see what the score is. I know I can do that. I can do that. We need a winner. We need a winner. That's a good point. The Portuguese manager is crap. I know he won the Euros, but he is very negative. I don't think he gets the best out of what he's got. Renato Sanchez is a good player as well. I do like him. I've got a super chat here from Brennan. He says, might be a bit biased as an American, but I think the USA finished second in the World Cup group. I also think Iran may give teams a tougher game than people think. Yeah, I don't think that... I'm not predicting that to be an easy group for England at all. I think that there are some good players in there. Portugal had a playoff to qualify. Portugal are notoriously inconsistent, especially in the qualifiers. Squid Play says, what the hell? It should easily be Argentina. I don't need to be the decider, because when I close the poll, it won't just say 50-50. It will say 49 to 50%, which means that the team with 50% had 50 point something and the other one had 49 point something. So it won't be a dead heat. There will be a winner. But it would be nice if we got a winner in the sense that it went 51-49 on the screen. But I will be able to tell you the winner when I click, and if you keep an eye on the live chat, you will see it yourself as well. England just on the attack here. We had another super chat coming in from Mikael. He says, France got beaten 2-1 by Denmark. I would consider them a dark horse. Let's not forget how far they got in the Euros without one of their key players. Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team. Can't wait for England to get knocked out and the media blame the Heat rather than Southgate, says Aidan Cox. Thank you very much, Aidan. When we hit 10,000 votes, I will probably just end this semi-final. This is the first semi-final as well. Argentina against Portugal. 50-50 after 9,400 votes. Yeah, I think that DiMarzio story about Bastoni is complete and utter nonsense. DiMarzio was good a few years ago, but I think now he's very much about helping out agents and stuff, which they might just be trying to kick the price up. What was I going to look at there? Okay, and okay. What the hell is that? Weird. It's still 50-50. We've nearly had 10,000 votes. I'm going to close this poll in 10 seconds. So if you want to get a vote in, maybe you can change it visibly. Argentina or Portugal, who would win in our semi-final? Oh, no foul on deck there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to click end poll. If you keep an eye on the chat, it will flash the result up, and one of them will be 50% and one of them will be 49%, which means the one with 50 maybe had 50,400 and the one on 49 might have had 49,600. So let's see what happens when we end this poll. Keep an eye out in the chat. Oh, typically mine's just gone and froze. Is anyone seeing the result? Here it is. Argentina won. There it is. World Cup predictor. Argentina 50%, Portugal 49%, which means the split was more with Argentina. So they go through and Portugal go home. World Cup predictor, Argentina 50%, Portugal 49%, which meant it was 50.3 and 49.7 or something like that. So Argentina go through. There we go. There we go. It was close, but no cigar. Right, our second semi-final could be another close one. Brazil against France, and Germany have scored. They've scored a goal. It's Hoffman. You've got to wonder. You've got to wonder here about the defending, because he takes a touch in the box and gets a shot off. I've got to say, doesn't look great on England's defence here, because it's a pass into the box and he takes his time with a touch and then shoots and scores. I don't know whether Pickford could have done better either. Not seen a replay yet. Trippier. Maguire's way out of position as well. I think Pickford should do a bit better. Yeah, Maguire's miles out of position. Pickford should save that straight at him as well. Yeah, that's not good. Pickford should save that. Well, it's a well-taken goal by Germany, but it's a disappointing goal to concede. I mean, I'd expect Germany to carve us open and score a genuine goal. To concede a sloppy goal like that is disappointing because Pickford's got a full hand on it and it's still not gone in, T-Rex hands. And Maguire's got to keep the back four line there. He gets dragged out, and that means that somebody takes... It's just basics. Basics. If you can pull a defender out of position and then you drop into that position, and that's what's happened there. Trippier and Stones haven't really sensed the danger quick enough as Maguire's been pulled out and then someone's occupied the space. It's very basic attacking play that is, that if you're being marked, you try and drift away and hope that that centre-back goes with you and then it leaves a massive hole for somebody to exploit. But 1-0 to Germany. I think Maguire thought he was off to Greece. He was on holiday. Do you think that Rashford will ever return to the England squad, says Mahit? I think Rashford and... Hold on. Good shot, good save. That was Mount and a good save by Neuer. It was a shot from distance, to be fair. I think that Southgate has his favourites and he loves... he likes Rashford, he likes Lingard. So I think if they started the season well, they have got a chance of going to the World Cup. I think he'd happily drop Bowen for Rashford. So... yeah, I don't think he'll take Sancho. Even if Sancho has a better start to the season than Rashford, I don't think he'll take Sancho because he's not one of his favourites. Sharath says that... Sharath Math Fitness, hello mate, hope you're doing well, not heard from you for a while. He says, I saw a thread yesterday defending Maguire. Look at him, he unnecessarily presses there. Why doesn't he hold his position? I don't get him at all. I don't know, he's got a tendency... For a slow centre-back, he's got a tendency to wander. And... most of the time he's the spare man as well, so don't wander. You've got two midfielders in front of you as well. But, look, Maguire goes on holiday, but Pickford should save it as well, let's not forget. Pickford should not be the goalkeeper for England, and many people have been saying this for a very long time. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner, you're very, very welcome to the channel. Everyone's welcome on here. Our second semi-final is up and running as well. France or Brazil, who would win? We're doing a World Cup predictor. Who will play Argentina in the final. It's France against Brazil. It's 52% for France at the moment, so don't forget to put your vote in. England having a bit of an attack here from Mount. He's had a shot and now he's just won a corner. Maguire's chance to redeem himself. Get your head on it. Good save by Manuel Neuer, that. I mean, you look at the save that Pickford made and it's crap compared to that. Here we go. Corner. Trippier. Not got enough height on that at all. Maguire loses the header to Muller. Go to him. Oh, fucking hell. Why did he not go to him then? Good tackle by Bellingham. Germany into the box again. Keeper's got that surely. No, Stones doesn't trust him. Fair play, Stones. I wouldn't trust Pickford either. He boots it away himself. Team does look better with Bellingham in it, says Bots. And Nick says, Mark, I'm stuck at and just got your score update. Typical Inder. Cheer me up with a sunshine. Gary Neville, says Nick. Sunshine Gary Neville up at 4 a.m, Phil. Phil, why aren't you picking up your phone, you lazy git? You're in bed, aren't you? I've been up for half an hour. It's 4 o'clock. I've had 2 bowls of cornflakes and I've done that squiggle thing where you wordle. I've done that and I've done a crossword and I've ran 20 miles. Sunshine Gary Neville, and it's sunny. Ramsdale should be in goal, says Jishan. I agree. Well, let's see what England are all about now. They're losing 1-0 to one of our big international rivals. And, you know, I'm sure you'll all have a game of Uno on the plane home and sing songs with Gareth. But how's about actually coaching you. It's about the structure, says Keith. It's just too easy for Germany. And they haven't really put any players on with pace. Like, they could put Sane or Gnabry on and really hurt us. France, it's come down to 51% for France. It's 51% against 49%. It was 52%. So we'll keep the vote open in our second semi-final of our World Cup predictor. It's Brazil against France. France are winning at the moment. Keep your votes coming in. Brazil or France in the semi-final. Get your votes in. Mark, who would you have as England's first choice keeper? Says Marvin James. At the moment, I'd go with Ramsdale. I still think the shirt's up for grabs. If I'm Dean Henderson or I'm Pope, I'm thinking, you know, well, I suppose Pope's probably not got any chance now because he's been relegated. But I do think that or if you're a young goalkeeper coming up and coming elsewhere, that place is up for grabs, definitely. Dortmund got Schlotterbeck for 22 million, left-footed centre-back, says Nate. Well, Dortmund have done some good business. Sasha says, I don't know how people can pick France over Brazil. Hi, Mark. Would you agree that a keeper needs to be at least 6'3" to be at top level? Pickford's a mouse compared to the top keepers. Stephen, if I subscribe to that, I've got to subscribe to the view that to be a centre-back, you've got to be over 6 foot. And as we know, the centre-back that I want United to sign is 5'10", and that's Timber from Ajax. And also, Mancini's just scored an own goal there. It's 2-1. Is Mancini picking himself now then? And Koundé's 5'10" as well, who I like. So I think you can be a good goalkeeper at 6 foot. I mean, the difference between a goalkeeper who's 6 foot and 6'1" is 1 inch. If you're a better jumper, then you're gonna. It doesn't matter, does it? Who do you think was the most overrated manager of the Premier League era? Says Joel Morris. Good question. Oh, it's 50-50 between France and Brazil. I was going to count down then, but I don't need to now. Keep your votes coming in. France against Brazil. It's 50-50. I would say France is still winning because it's only just come down to 50-50. So Brazil may be at 49.2 and France might be 50.8. So it's still going to be in France's favour, but your votes can change that. Keep them coming in. What a couple of semi-finals we had. Portugal against Argentina went to extra time. And now France against Brazil has gone to extra time. Keep your votes coming in. Every inch matters, says Hoff. Okay. And you sound like an expert. And what is Sunshine Gary Neville reference from, says Daniel. It's just a joke, Daniel. Mark, who do you think was the most underrated manager of the Premier League era, says Joel. We've had overrated and underrated. I don't know. Gerard Houllier. I don't know whether you mean overrated or underrated. My next England manager, Harley. I'd love to see Graham Potter get it. You'd know that he wants to play good football. Dortmund transfers. Here's a super chat for you. Dortmund transfers, says Karen Took the Kids. We don't negotiate with terrorists. United transfers. Do you want some cash with your helicopter? And SB says English media loves to praise failure and hype up and protect these losers. Southgate, Ollie, Maguire, Rashford, they seem to enjoy losing. Yeah, I don't know what's gone wrong with the media, actually. They've gone very, very soft on England and apologetic for them. And ultimately, I just don't think we're getting anywhere near the potential of these players. Because I don't think the coaching's anywhere near good enough. I mean, what's Southgate's coaching team? Has he recruited his mates or are they actually specialists? Your thoughts on PSG wanting Mourinho, says Stephen. I did a video about it over the weekend. I've been told that Pochettino's getting the sack and that it will happen this week. I was told by Wednesday. That's obviously not going to be the case. Here's a mistake. Sterling. What is that? What is that? Just indecision. Well done, Carl Walker. Another mistake by final ball of England. Terrible. They've intercepted Germany 3 times there, and then completely. Musiala's played really well. He could have played for England, although Southgate wouldn't pick him because he plays in the Bundesliga and he's young. What a prat! Right, I'm going to count down from 10 and then I'm going to end this poll. Brazil against France, another 50-50 that will be decided by the inner workings of the voting system. Get your votes in. We've had 12,000 votes in our second semi-final World Cup predictor. Who will play Argentina in the final? Will it be Brazil or will it be France? And then he said Brents. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to end the poll. I suspect France will still have the edge here. They didn't! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's 49 point something for France and it's 50 point something for Brazil, which means that France bottled it because France were 52%, 51%, 50%, and then actually went down to 49%. Brazil have knocked out France. That is stunning. No European team in your final of a World Cup predictor. There's shock and awe in the chats. Tyrone says it can't be. Sim says yes. This is Football says no. Chat's clueless, says Hader. Brazil's overrated, says Diego. Well, I cannot comment on the chat. We've got 16,700 people voting in the chat. You have voted from quarterfinals. You've knocked out all the European teams, and the 2 South American teams have made it. We've got a Brazil-Argentina final in the World Cup. Look, it's a hot climate in Qatar. That may well happen. I'll tell you what. When we're doing the World Cup watch-along in December, if it's Brazil against Argentina, I'll be stunned. But maybe you're onto something. In relation to the media's attitude to the England team, I think it's because in the past they were overly harsh on performances in competition. But they were right to be harsh. In what situation do you think the English FA would consider removing Southgate and getting a more Klopp-like manager, says Mohit? I don't actually see a situation. I don't. I think they're so locked in with MP Southgate that I don't think it'll happen. Germany play good football, England do not, says Nate. Right. Okay, we've got a final. A World Cup final predictor. I'm shocked, but you know this is what you call democracy. So we've got Brazil against Argentina in a World Cup final. I tell you what, I'd love to see that as a final. To be honest, it's never going to be England, so I don't really give a shit about having a European team in the final. But yeah, Brazil against Argentina, your World Cup final. Who wins the World Cup in your World Cup predictor? Brazil against Argentina. Get your votes in. Democratic Bridge, says Dylan. Who would I predict to win the World Cup out of those 8? Well, it doesn't matter now because I wouldn't have predicted Brazil or Argentina. I probably would stick with France. And as an outsider, I wouldn't bet against a Portugal or a Germany, to be honest with you. Yeah. So we've got 24 minutes to go in this game. And very good super chat here from Danny. He says, why did the English FA insist on employing championship standard managers? I'd rather United win the Prem than England win the World Cup. Oh yeah, 100% Manchester United. Yeah, easy. This referee's a right time waster. It's going to add about 20 minutes on, I reckon. Brazil are winning at the moment, 53%. And England, Italy on Saturday night. Yeah, I'll have to think of another poll. Why did it? Yeah, I've done that one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do you think England will get an equaliser? I'd go and watch Love Island if you're waiting for that. That's how bad I think England have been. Well, Calfas says, regardless of the outcome of this poll, I've got a strong feeling about Argentina and Denmark. I hope we get a World Cup like that. We can all be cynical about international football, but the reality is when it kicks off, we'll all be watching it because there is no club football, and international tournament football it's like a bubble, isn't it? Pickford's out. My only concern about this World Cup is, will it have a World Cup feel? Qatar. Is it going to feel quite sterile? Is it going to feel quite, not like a World Cup? I think one of the great things about Euros and World Cups is the whole atmosphere of the World Cup. If it's in Germany, if it's in the USA, if it's in South Africa, you feel the vibe of the nation. Can Qatar provide that? I don't know. Is this just a commercial World Cup? And that's the thing that concerns me, because it's not just the football, it's the atmosphere, it's the fans, how many fans will travel to the World Cup in Qatar. So that's my main concern. I'm going to do a movie watch along soon, yes. My next movie is going to be Heat, which is, I think it's in a couple of weeks. I think it's either the 23rd or the 24th. Yeah. 3-hour film, that. It's a money World Cup, says Diego. I think the next World Cup that's going to be, I think, in Canada, Mexico, and USA will be good. Hey Mark, do you think there is a difference between this transfer window and the 2015 one? How can we be sure that this one will turn out better? Says NYY. I don't know, mate. We'll have to just wait and see. What time is the F1 on Sunday, Darren? Germany with the cross. Carl Walker heads it away. I think Brazil are going to win this, which means Brazil are going to be your predictor to win the World Cup. Don't forget. Good cross, back post. Good save by Pickford. He made a good save there from Muller on the back post. This is the frustrating thing about Pickford. He will produce a good save every now and again, but I mean, again, he's not convincing, is it? I just don't rate Pickford at all. I do not at this level. I do like Baku. I like that. I like whenever I play Formula One, I always race at Baku because I just like the track. World Cup and Santa is weird, says PJA. Well, it's a novelty, isn't it? The thing I like about the World Cup being at Christmas is that we don't get an international break for 2 months. The season starts on August the 6th and the first international break's not till the end of September. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're watching. We're on the road to 700,000 subscribers, and we're very close to 695,000. What did you have for lunch today, says Toby? Oh, I had a classic lunch for me today. I don't know whether anybody does this, but I had beans on toast with a fried egg on the top. I used to have that on a Saturday lunchtime when I'd been swimming when I was a kid, with a bit of brown sauce. I didn't have the brown sauce today, but yeah, beans on toast with a fried egg. Yep, We're talking about food instead of football, says Little Bill. Yeah. Mount's just come off. Well, I can tell you this. I tell you what, 65% possession. Well, Grealish is on now for Mount. We're going to close the poll, actually. Just very quickly, we'll do that. England under 21s are beating Albania 2-0 at the moment, says Ronald. I would expect that, really. Of course, Brazil will win. Fred turns into Ronaldinho when he's with them, says Swift. So we're going to close this poll. It's our World Cup final predictor, which we had 8 teams, and you went with Brazil, Argentina. So Brazil, I've got 55% of the votes. Maguire's header. Manuel Neuer, easy to save because he's just let it hit his head, hasn't he? We're going to count down from 10. If it stays on 55%, then Brazil win. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is Brazil who win the World Cup. It's a 2v2 here for England, Germany. Nice slip into Werner. Good save by Pickford, to be fair. Brazil have won your World Cup predictor with 55% of the vote. Argentina in runners-up. So we'll see if that happens. You're predicting that Brazil are going to win the World Cup, which, to be honest with you, is exactly what the bookies have got. They've got Brazil as the favourites, France second favourites, and England third favourites. Well done, everybody. That was good. That was the most entertainment from the stream so far. Sandeep says that a lot of Indians will travel to the World Cup. I don't know why. Sandeep, maybe you could educate us on that. Is it a location thing? I don't know. I mean, look, I've not got my World Cup head on at the moment. I'm looking forward to it. I like the World Cup. I'm not massively a big fan of it being played in the winter, but it's going to happen, and we just got to get involved, and hopefully it'll be a good tournament. There are interesting factors to it to me. What's the climate going to be like? Is the roof going to be closed all the time? I know that they're going to put air conditioning. What a save by Manuel Neuer from Harry Kane, that is. That should be a goal. Grealish with the cross. Harry Kane should score. That should be 1-1. England's best bit of action, and it's took 75 minutes. Lovely cross by Grealish. And he does make things happen, Grealish, for England. I don't really like him at Man City, but for England, I think Grealish should start. What a save this is. Good cross by Grealish. Harry Kane, he's got to score, really. And it basically hits his arse. Every bit of the body counts. Manuel Neuer's back. His upper arse and his lower back. One of the two saved it. And a bit fortuitous, but it's a save. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we have some experts in the chat. We know that these grounds in Qatar are going to be air conditioned. But, you know, it's not like you're in your room on holiday in Mallorca You turn your aircon on and you can just lie there in your pants without a blanket because you can just feel it pumping down on you. It's still a stadium with thousands of people in it. So I don't know what the air conditioning is going to do for the footballers, really. I still think it'll have an impact. On top of that, how many people will actually travel to Qatar? What's the hotel situation? How does it work? These are the things that I'm interested in knowing. Mark, what was your dream job when you were a kid? Says Ready, easy, to be a professional footballer. If this results hold, will England be relegated to Nations League B? Says Lay. Well, no, because we've still got more games to play. We've still got to play Hungary again, Germany again, Italy twice. So, but I don't know whether we get relegated. Good take by Werner. Look at Maguire. He's so slow. He just has to foul people. Thoughts on Wales qualifying for the World Cup? How do you think they'll do against England? Says Sanju. Well, I think whenever England play Wales or Scotland, obviously you expect England to win. But the motivation for Wales, we've seen it before in recent tournaments and games. Wales have never been embarrassed by England. So you can see it being a tight affair. Really. Oh, he won't keep that in. He didn't keep it in. Oh, he did keep it in. Ref said play on. Nice take by Sterling. And he's given a foul for something. 12 minutes to go. Is it England beats Germany yet already or not yet? Says Azim. No, it's nowhere near yet. Nice ball into Jared Bowen. Made some subs now, England. That's a throw into us. Here's Grealish on the left-hand side. Puts another cross in and wins another corner. At least he's making things happen. Jack Grealish is a baller. Dude has that magic touch in his dribble. Stat merchants calling him average or a flop don't actually watch his games. I don't know what to call you, but thanks for the super chat. You're just 3 arrows. I'm going to call you 3 aloes. Love from Washington, D.C. and I love the stream, says Kareem. I've gone off Grealish because he's gone to Man City. It's as simple as that. But Sterling shoots way over the bar. But before he went to Man City and he was at Villa, I was demanding Grealish play for England. So, taking off my red tinted glasses, I do like Grealish, and I do think he brings something to England that's not there. So I think Grealish is going to have a very interesting season next season. £100 million player. I mentioned it in April that Man City played 4 really big games in the league and in the Champions League, and he played less than half an hour. So Pep is obviously not in Pep's circle of trust for the big games yet, but will he be next season? Ole Gunnar Southgate, says Little Billy. Dylan says, why is Reece James coming on and not Trent? Why is Gareth Southgate the coach is the question, mate. Bellingham's been our best outfield player and he's only on the pitch because Phillips got injured. Grealish has played as our best attacker, doesn't even start. England won't make it out. Maguire is playing, says Fanid. Ten minutes to go. Well, less than 10 minutes to go. Midday on Sunday is the F1, if anyone's interesting. England won't make it out. Maguire is playing, says Farid. Bellingham is class, says Finn. Well, it'll be interesting if he loses to Italy on Saturday night, because Bowen... Oh, how did we not score then? Lovely cross by Bowen, and the defender's done a great job to turn it around. I think he's gone for a corner, yes. Trippier's going to take it. Let's see if we can put a good cross in this time. Sancho's on holiday speed. He doesn't get picked. Rudiger heads it away. I forget that that Bellingham is still a teenager, isn't he? Oh, Kane wants a penalty. He's not going to get it. And now Sane's on the break. Oh my God, it could go from penalty to something worse. Oh, well done, Kyle Walker. Corner, well done. Southgate sucks. We'll never win anything with him, says Mank in Chicago. They might review this penalty. England might get away with it. Let's have a look. Well, for a start, Harry Kane would be offside on the Liverpool rule. Harry Kane would be offside there on the Liverpool goal rule. I don't understand the rule, but he would surely be offside because that's why Real Madrid didn't get a goal. I can't believe Peter Drury thought Southgate will take off one CDM for Jarrod Bowen. Has he not been paying attention? I don't think he'll give that. Oh, he has given a penalty. Penalty to England. Well, I've got to say, I'm obviously happy England have got a penalty, but I'm a bit confused why it's not offside. Because when the pass is played by Grealish, Kane is offside, but it hits a German player who inadvertently knocks it into the path of Kane. Is that not the same as the Liverpool goal with Real Madrid, where it was inadvertently locked into Benzema? So, I don't know. That was my first thought. But England looking like we're going to grab a draw here late on. I don't know. Some people, I don't understand why it's not offside, because Grealish plays a pass that hits a German player, goes across to Kane, who then gets fouled. I suppose the foul would trump the offside, I suppose. Harry Kane against Manuel Neuer. England with an opportunity to grab a draw from the grasp of defeat, really. And he does, and he makes it 1-1. And they've got away with it, England, here. They've definitely got away with it. 1-1. We don't deserve it. And as an Englishman, I don't take pleasure in that performance at all. It's an embarrassment as a performance to go to our biggest international rival and play that badly and grab a draw. And that's why Southgate stays in a job. That is why Southgate stays in a job. Simple as that. And Germany really have only got themselves to blame for not finishing us off. And, you know, it's nice not to get beat by the Germans. That's the nice thing. But it gets to a point where, what's the future in this? You can't. If we play them 10 times, they're going to beat us 7 times. Like, we're not a good. We're a very, very boring team to watch. And yet we've got some really talented players. And yeah, in the short term, we've got a draw out the battle, but we're not going to win the war. We're not, because we're just not good enough. And of course, it's nice that England don't lose, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at the squad. I'm looking at the way we play football. It's embarrassing. We're not easy on the eye. We're a very, very boring team to watch. And this is England against Germany. But Germany have only got themselves to blame. It's as simple as that. Having said that, in fairness, Harry Kane should have scored another goal from that brilliant cross from Grealish. And you know, the best bit of England has been since Grealish came on. We've actually played a little bit more attacking. Why can't we play that for 90 minutes? Why do we have to be losing a game to bring our more attacking players on? He never seems to learn the lesson. And the lesson is, let's go out and play football. That's a lovely ball to Grealish. We might go and win this. Oh, Kane! Do you think it was a penalty? Well, yeah, I do. I do think it was a penalty because it's completely accidental, but he does trip him up. I fear for England under Southgate, they could be so much better, says Scar. And Bowen has played well as well, says Liam. Yeah, look, Bellingham has probably been our man of the match. He wasn't going to start. He only came on because Phillips was injured. Grealish has been brilliant since he came on. He didn't start. Bowen's given us more purpose. He didn't start. Like, Southgate, the problem under Southgate is that it's like driving with your foot down with the handbrake on. That's the best analogy I can think of. England have got some really good players. I've seen England teams that are just crap. Absolutely crap. Over the years, I've seen some really crap England teams. You know, I think back to the team that failed to qualify for the World Cup in '94. We had people like Carlton Palmer, Andy Sinton, some right crap players playing for England that just weren't good enough because we didn't really have anybody else. This England setup, we've got loads of talented players, but we're playing handbrake football. We've just got completely the wrong manager. 4 minutes added on. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Germany on the attack here. Werner's done well. Stones will clear that. Bellingham is still down. Well, Germany won't put it out. Sane. Gnabry. Bellingham's up now. Will you play F1 Manager or not your thing, says Moss. I might give it a go. When's it out? Kane starts falling before the contact is made, says Amusing Confusing. Well, a lot of people saying it's not a penalty. Look, I'm very happy it's a penalty. I'm English. I can't not be biased about that. Not losing to Germany, regardless of who is in charge of the team. I don't want England to lose. But have we been an embarrassment? Yes. Are we boring? Yes. And I might be completely misreading this, but in the Champions League final, Benzema is in an offside position and the ball finds its way to him from a pass, from a tackle that deflects off a Liverpool player to him, and that was classed as offside. So why is Kane not offside when Grealish plays a pass that deflects off a German player into his path? I don't know why he's onside and Benzema was offside. But I think the foul was a penalty. I thought it was going to be given as offside because of what happened with Benzema, but it looked to me like Kane got clipped. It finishes 1-1. Southgate, survival again. I just want to say, I think as a human being, Southgate's a nice bloke. But so's my milkman. I don't want him to manage England. And that's my problem. He is a proven, boring coach. And it's a fact he wouldn't get a job in the Premier League. And yet there are 3 English coaches in the Premier League. We don't have the best England manager. And that we keep getting proven this every bloody game. Because even when we win, the football is shit. And that's my big problem with it. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. I've really enjoyed the stream. Remember, you've predicted that Brazil are going to win the World Cup. I really enjoyed that. And make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We've got another watch-along on Saturday night. It's England against Italy. And obviously, we'll be reacting to transfers and all sorts of stuff topical on this channel. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you in a bit.